Hey there everybody, this is Colton with POSGuys.com, and every once in a while we get asked by business owners who are using Lightspeed for their retail store what hardware we would recommend for them. You know, and Lightspeed has certified a bunch of receipt printers and barcode scanners and cash drawers, so there's a lot to choose from. So I thought it would be really cool to pull out all the different items that they've certified, give our recommendations, and share some of the tips and tricks that we've picked up after supporting, hundreds of customers over the years. Lightspeed has broken their retail software into a couple different series. We're going to be focusing on the X Series today because that's the most popular one that they offer. So if you're using something else, this video might not be applicable. We're going to be talking about compatibility for Windows and iPad, but we'll also talk a little bit about Mac when it's applicable. We've also taken the liberty of breaking all the different products that we've talked about today into a single microsite. A link to that is in the description below. But with that, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to zoom you in and let's get started. So we'll start this off by talking about receipt printers because that's the category that has the most ground to cover. And we'll start that off with the Star Micronics TSP 100 III, and that's III with 3 Roman numerals. That's going to be a common trend here. It's sometimes also referred to as the TSP 143. They're the same printer. Don't get too caught up by it, just different names for the same thing. This is going to be available in either black or white, kind of just to fit whatever preference you have there. And if you're using this on Windows, it's going to be compatible over Ethernet, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth. Or if you're using this on an iPad, it is going to be compatible over Ethernet and Wi-Fi. We would recommend, if you can get away with it, using an Ethernet connection, if at all possible. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt to run that Ethernet cable, but having that hardwire connection is going to make your device a lot more stable. I would say that probably one of the most common support calls that we get are people who are having trouble keeping their printer staying on the network because they're connecting it over, like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and an Ethernet connection just doesn't have the same troubles. It's also a nice perk because if you connect something over Ethernet, any device that's on your network can print to that receipt printer versus, a USB or a Bluetooth connection where it's a one-to-one pair. So you'll just get a little bit more flexibility if you can get away with going with an Ethernet option. So this printer prints at 8 inches per second. If you wanted something to print just a little bit faster, say you're a busy store, you could look at the replacement, the TSP 103. This is the TSP 104, that's 100 IV, so kind of keeping the Roman numerals going there. This prints 2 inches faster, so 10 inches per second. It's available in black and white, and it is going to be compatible on Windows with USB or Ethernet, and if you're using it on iPad, it's only compatible over Ethernet. Outside of the print speed, some people buy this printer because they just like the look a little bit better. It kind of has these sharp designs. It looks a little more modern compared to something like this. But that's like the big perk of using this printer. On a similar note, some people also like the MC Print 3 from Star Micronics because of its cube-shaped design. This prints at 10 inches per second as well. It is compatible over USB and Ethernet on both Windows and iPad. It's important to note that if you want to connect this printer over USB to an iPad, you're going to need a USB-A to Lightning cable, and then you're going to connect the USB end onto this, and then the Lightning, of course, is going to go into the iPad. This is a 3-inch printer. There is also a 2-inch variant of it as well, called the MC Print 2, which I'll throw a photo up right now. It prints a little bit slower. I think it prints at around 4 inches per second, so that is something to keep in mind. But if you're looking to print like credit card receipts, it's a great option. If you're looking to do 2-inch printing, you could also look at the Epson TM-N10, which I have right here. This is available in white or black, and you can see that it's quite a bit smaller than the MC Print 3, but this is going to be compatible over Ethernet and Bluetooth on iPad only. This is not compatible with Windows or Mac, so just something to keep in mind there. There is also a 3-inch version of this printer as well, called the Epson M30 III. That's 3 Roman numerals. That's going to be compatible over USB, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. Again, that's iPad only, so you can't use that on a Windows device. And then finally, I did lie a little bit. There is one other 2-inch printer option that you can choose from, and that is the printer that is built into the Star Micronics MPOP. That's this little guy right here, and I'll move some things out of the way so we can take a better look at this. This is a fairly unique product. I think this is the only thing like it on the market. It is a receipt printer and cash drawer built into one single unit. So you have a 2-inch receipt printer on this side, and you know this will connect over Bluetooth. But then the other side has a cash drawer, and that is a 4-bill slot cash drawer. This is available in either black and white. Pivoting just real quick, I will briefly mention mobile printers. So if you are looking to, print receipts from anywhere in your business and you don't want to be tied down to a, printer that's connected to a wall outlet, you could look at the Star Micronics SM-S230i. It's also a 2-inch printer, so gosh, there's actually, now that I think about it, there's quite a few 2-inch printers in a bunch of different form factors, so you are all set to go if 2-inch printing is what you're looking to do. That is compatible on iPad only. And then wrapping us up on printers, we will talk about label printers. So you're gonna have a couple options. These are only gonna be compatible on Windows and Mac. The first is the ZD411, which we have right here. This is from Zebra, and it is going to print both 2.25 by 1.25 and 2 by 1 labels. So they kind of just load in here, and you kind of have a little bit of a clamp, and it clamps in just like that. And if we had to pick, this is probably the one that I would recommend. Zebra is just sort of known from their label printers. They have a great support team, and this is just a super solid printer overall. Lightspeed also supports the Dymo label printers, the 450 and 550 turbos. So if you have a Dymo already, or that's what you're comfortable with, you could certainly go with that. But our recommendation is going to be the ZD411. It's just an incredible printer, and this is probably the label printer that we sell the most of, hands down. In fact, it's probably one of our best-selling products in general. So if you have the option, go with this. Make your life easy. Next up, let's take a moment to talk about barcode scanners, because you're gonna have a few options there. So first, I'll start off with the barcode scanners that are compatible with both Windows, Mac, and iPad. So in that category, you're gonna have a few options. The first is the Socket S700, which we have right here. This is compatible over Bluetooth, so it just directly pairs to your iPad or your computer. And it's just a cute little printer overall, or scanner overall. It's really popular. You've probably seen these in stores before. The one I have is in white, but they do have some that come in like all the colors of the rainbow. I think there's like blue, red, green, orange. You'll have your pick of options. So if you kind of have a particular theme in your store, you can kind of match that. And then they have these that come with like different charging cradles and stuff and presentation cradles. So, you kind of have some options there. The other thing that you could consider is the Zebra CS6080. It's this little guy right here. And I took the battery out right here so they wouldn't yell at us during the review, but I'll plug that in for this. It works pretty similar to the S700. They're roughly the same size and weight. The 6080 is definitely going to be more expensive than the Socket Scan S700, but we found that overall this is way more reliable. The S700s are kind of known for being a little cheap build-wise. They kind of break somewhat easily. In fact, this one kind of has a little bit of a rattle, but this, is kind of on the opposite. This is a really well-built unit. So those are the options that are compatible on both Windows, Mac, and iPad. If you're looking at just a Windows or Mac station, you can use basically any USB barcode scanner or even a Bluetooth scanner with a USB-equipped cradle. So, falling in that category, we have the, DS2208 is one of the options that's officially recommended by Lightspeed, and we have to recommend it as well. This is just a super solid scanner. It's probably one of our best-selling barcode scanners in general, so you'll have some peace of mind there. But then you could also look at something like the DS2278. It's basically the Bluetooth version of the 2208. It's going to have a little cradle, but then the cradle has a USB connection that you just plug into your computer. They also recommend a couple Honeywell options. You have the Voyager 1200G or the 1202G. The 1200 is USB. The 1202G is a Bluetooth option. And if you're looking for something a little more upgraded, you could look at the Voyager 1470G or its Bluetooth variant, the 1472G. We sell quite a few of those as well, and they're super solid. So it's kind of just up to preference. And finally, wrapping us up, we are going to talk about cache drawers. And cache drawers are really easy because you can use just about any cache drawer on the market with either the iPad or the Windows base station, so long as it is a printer-driven cache drawer. Now, a printer-driven cache drawer is one that kind of has a special cable that can connect the back of the cache drawer to the back of a receipt printer. And then when the receipt printer prints, it sends a small electrical pulse that pops open the cache drawer. So Lightspeed recommends Star Micronics cache drawers. In particular, they recommend the CD3, and that's what I have right here. And I would have to agree with them. The CD3 is probably one of our most popular cache drawers overall. And it is just a solid, well-built cache drawer. They're made of solid metal. The CD3 in particular is going to come in either black or white. There are also some models that have a stainless steel front that look kind of nice. This is going to be available in either a 16-inch by 16-inch configuration or a 13-inch by 13-inch configuration. And another perk as well, if you go with a Star cache drawer, is that it will come with the exact cable that you need to connect it to a Star receipt printer. So it kind of cuts out the guesswork. If you get another brand of cache drawer, you kind of have to do some research to find the exact cable that connects the Star cache drawer or that cache drawer to a Star receipt printer. And they can be kind of hard to find the right one sometimes. So if you can order a Star cache drawer, you'll cut out the guesswork. But with that, that is going to wrap up this video. We've sort of covered the gamut of items. If you have any questions at all, feel free to give us a call or an email. Both of those are going to be on the screen here in a second. And if you're interested in picking up any of the options that we've talked about here, or you want to do a little bit more research, that microsite that I've talked about before, there's a link to that in the description below. Check that out. It has all the information that you'll need to make an informed decision the first time around. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to hopefully helping you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.